Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Woohoo, party! As you can see, we're pretty late here this morning. We had actually an extended daily brief here today. Actually, I think we're live on YouTube. Should probably turn that off. Site OG, veteran, came out to the TRI meetup in the summer. Had just such a great time calling. Had a report that he does, and really I encourage all site members, if they feel as though, especially site veterans, alumni of the school program. I definitely think that we build very, very good traders here, and Colin a testament to that. He has such a beautiful methodology. And in fact, actually, halfway through his report, he was showing us a tweet from one of his friends, and I was like, that's a cool tweet. Can I please repost that? Colin's name on Twitter is randomtask555. I would strongly suggest you follow him. I think he's a very good trader. And also, too, one thing that I really like about TRI and sort of my aspiration here is I want to empower people. So what I actually do on the site, like I forced myself to do this daily brief and daily brief recaps every single day. I think I'm getting better and better at my presentation skills, but what is really cool is to watch the young aspiring traders slowly build their presentation skills. And the weird thing about public speaking is you might be smart as a whip, but if you can't talk in front of people, you can't convey that smartiness. And what I've noticed when I empower these people through the TRI experience is they get better and better and better at their public speaking skills. Then they can go off and get jobs at major media outlets and investment banks and stuff, and actually talk good conversations with people about levels and etc. So big hats off to Colin today. Excellent report. We had a really great time bantering back and forth looking at ideas. So that's just sort of why we're late here today. And what did we do at TRI through the daily brief? And frankly speaking, I think it's just, number one, the price we charge for this service is ridiculously low. You guys on YouTube, what price do you pay? And just chock full of value every single day. So just I spent about 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the daily brief just thanking everybody. And I have to say, I don't even know whether I can live up to yesterday's daily brief. I was absolutely blown away by all the positive commentary and feedback. I'm at this really, and I actually think I'm susceptible to the whole Jupiter-Saturn cross and these 5 different celestial events and chaos in the human experience right now. I even feel it in myself. I'm just like, wow, I'm so sensitive. And I think that's basically what we have to expect for the next year is very, very touchy, very sensitive. And I'm noticing that I see it in myself and I see it around our society as well. So anyway, the point of the matter here is I sort of laid my heart out on the line there yesterday for all of you, and I was... I gotta tell you, I probably spent like an hour or two yesterday just going through all the comments and replying and saying thank you and stuff because I was really touched by you guys. Okay, let's get on to the market talk. As you can see, this is our basic sort of matrix that we like to talk to you guys about. Gives you a sort of an overview of what I see happening in the broader market. We always start off sort of right out of the gate with sort of the big risk on, risk off proxy, the US dollar index. If fund managers are crapping their pants, usually they go flying into UST bills and sell everything else and just sort of turtle. But interestingly enough, through the 1980, really I guess 81, 82, to year 2000, that was a greed cycle. And interestingly enough, through that cycle, the US dollar itself actually changes from a fear asset to nobody wants to invest in anything overseas. The place to buy is the United States of America. And I gotta say, with all of the work that Mr. Trump has done over the past 3 or 4 years, he has literally set the United States of America up for success. I think you could easily make the argument, especially after the dot-com bust, that the powers that be within the United States of America knew about the demographic cycles. They knew about how vulnerable the U.S. system was. And, through that period, they did a whole bunch of things to try and just make sure the system just kept going. Now I might make the argument demographic situation has changed. Time has progressed. It's gone by. The relationships that were put in place to support the United States coming out of that demographic nightmare situation, those are over now. And, of course, you got a politician here who's trying to just basically level the playing field so that the world can't just simply take advantage of the United States of America anymore. So in a weird sort of way, and I think I've told you all this before, I actually officially now am a US dollar bull for the next 17 years. So who knows what this is going to look like, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. I still think over the short term we're basically trapped in a trading range. I think the Fed is basically suggested through this election year they don't really want to be perceived as influencing the market too strongly one way or the other. I do believe that this coronavirus situation is maybe a little bit over-exaggerated, but nonetheless it is what it is. My hunch is the U.S. economy just keeps on chugging along. And, on balance, in comparison to, say, Europe or areas of Asia, the U.S. economy, actually, North America, looks like a good place to have your money working. So, I still think we're range bound. We are coming up to an important level. Gaps that we pointed out months gone by need to be filled in, and I think that's what the market's doing here. We might AB equals CD. We'll see how strong this move is. I could see a pop-up on the U.S. dollar index through these highs. That wouldn't be shocking if we see a move up here. And also, too, it wouldn't surprise me if that's actually a harmonic. I got the sneaky suspicion that's a 113. So if we go extensions, yeah. So we're looking actually, 113. So look at that, right on the bloody nose. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually work our way higher here. And then, as I said, I think I've told you guys repeatedly, and of course I say it on the site, I am extremely bearish of anything euro denominated. And I wouldn't be surprised if the euro continues to melt lower here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Boom. So not only did we blast through head and shoulders bearish objectives, but basically she's gone through historic lows. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of taking a trade here. But I've talked to you guys lots recently. I am not a euro bull whatsoever. And if anything, I almost kind of wish we'd get our counter trend rally so I can get short. So there's your U.S. dollar. And like I said, that's probably extremely unpopular in sort of the YouTube community's view, but I am actually quite U.S. dollar bullish. And for whatever it's worth, too, I think I've told you, I have accumulated a lot of U.S. dollars. I like the U.S. dollar. Now, risk on, risk off. Obviously, if U.S. dollar is pretty strong here, that's supposed to be like, hey, I thought that was risk off. I don't know. I wonder if we're slowly making this transition. It took a while to transition out of that sort of dot-com boom kind of mentality in like 2001, 2002, 2003. I was a broker through all that, and I remember clients calling up, well, should we buy Nortel because it's 75% off of the highs, Brian? And unfortunately, those kind of companies, they went out of business. So I do believe that, in this environment, people are still going to be thinking commodity cycle, which doesn't surprise me that there's so many gold bugs out there. Now, I don't know whether this is the top. I'm not in the business of calling tops. What I'm simply going to say is I've been playing this game an awfully long time. I have come to respect these 17.5-year fear-greed cycles, and I'm listening. And actually, I'd like to set myself up to invest in growth. Stock market just made another new high. So, you can't argue that the stock market is topping out here. 33.77 on the S&Ps here. So and this is the futures contract, so that is another new high. I think I've told you recently I'm pretty darn bullish of stocks here. And lo and behold, look at what our little crude oil is doing. Uh-oh. Remember we said that we want to see W's on the other side of this trend line, but here we are, the middle of February. How does the cliche go? So it really shouldn't surprise us if we do actually see this thing bottom. But I think I also told you yesterday, once these rallies, these seasonal rallies, keep in mind, we want to be selling the middle of May, so I don't know where the hell this market's going to be here. But once we hit this window here, I'm probably going to be just really walking away from crude oil investing. But we'll see how it goes. Only time will tell. I can't even get a nice actual big bullish signal until we, W out here and probably recapture this downtrend line. I don't even know if it's going to happen or not. We'll see. Only time will tell. It was interesting today, the scuttlebutt, of course, is, how's it go? No new coronavirus diagnoses. Nobody died today, or even the rate of death is slowing. So all of a sudden, everybody comes piling back into risk-on assets. If we change this to a clothesline, you can actually start to see the W's. The only reason why I really mention this is because I said recently there are names I'm interested in. I'd like to do some nibbling, and I went and bought one oil stock today. Just put a little bit of money to work in this Mammoth Energy. And you can see Mammoth is trying to put in, actually I think it confirmed an inside bar reversal. Yes, it did. So I bought the inside bar reversal level, and hey, look at that. I'm up 4 or 5 cents on the day. Woohoo! But hopefully you can see, why would Brian be interested in buying a stock like this, right? It's rinse and repeat. So I did go and actually do a little bit of nibbling on some energy names. Well, one energy name. And we'll see how it goes if we bust through these lows. You guys have seen me do this repeatedly. If we lose these lows, I'll just walk away. And that's just the way it is. On the flip side, risk off. Man, I still like this bond short. This market's just playing with me. But nonetheless, I've talked to you lots. If we lose this trend line, we're probably heading right back down to these lows. And considering the way the stock market's relatively happy, and considering, of course, coronavirus sort of fears and stuff, I think that was a little bit artificial. And also, too, now you can see this is actually a head and shoulders pattern. So if we lose this level here, and really a close below the trend line probably does it, then that head and shoulders will kick in, and it also take us down to these lows. I got to tell you, I know people want to be bullish of gold. They want to be gold bugs. Oh, man, I have a hard time here. It's interesting, though, to see that the gold stocks themselves have not crapped out here just yet. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. I mean, if you really want to be a gold bug, I suppose we could start hunting longs. I just don't have the gumption for it. Especially when I saw earlier today that the Japanese yen actually went and busted those recent lows. So, I mean, you look at that chart. Is that a bullish chart? I see a lot of M's that are coming in here now. And, of course, we're below trend lines here. So, the fact that we took out this low, ironically enough, means that actually we should be thinking A, B, C, D, right? So, boo-ba-da-boo. And where should this take us? Probably somewhere down there. Oh, what a coincidence. Probably going to take us right back to this trend line here. So, I mean, if you're a gold bug, you're a gold bug. I used to have clients when I was a broker. Gold's down $20 an ounce. Oh, that's a buy. I got to go buy some. So, I mean, if you're a gold bug, you're a gold bug for the rest of your life. There's not much I can do to help you. But I will simply say that I believe that gold often likes to follow yen. And that can't be a good sign for gold. So, for whatever it's worth, it is what it is. I'm not buying any gold right here. So, yeah, that's what it is. So there's your risk on, risk off. Really, the technicians are just going to simply say gold's range bound. And I suppose you could make the argument bonds are range bound. They're neither a buy nor a sell right now here. We have to wait for this thing to resolve. And, maybe gold resolves through the top and away we go higher. But I'm not holding my breath for that event. As I said, I like to show you guys sort of what I'm doing in the market. And, I've shown you lots of stocks that have popped recently. So I thought I had to show you some names that I'm interested in that haven't popped yet. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Give you names that haven't run. So hopefully you can see, you know that I'm interested in energy and crude oil for the seasonal trade here. Hopefully you can see the W's trying to come in. If this thing closes up through here, then I'm laughing and I feel very comfortable. I'll risk to a break of this low down in here. Ears. This is one of Kavarkinator's, the Duke of Albuquerque's ideas. You should all look at this and go, yeah, well, I can understand why they might be interested. Keep in mind, we might do this. And if you lose these lows, you got to walk away. But, I'm seeing some W's. I'm seeing a level, an asset that I think has got some upside potential. You tell me, has this thing got any room to move up here? And we've got W's working, so can I sneak in here and risk against these lows and see if it pops up into this part of the range? I don't mind that. And actually, it's really cool because there was a name that was another one of Kavarkinator's ideas. And actually, that's another one we'll talk about in a moment. Look at that chart. It's so pretty. Somebody's coming in and buying some serious stock here today. What's that, about 60, 70,000 shares? So, but I wanted to show you, what is it, Park City? How's it go? PKC? No. Park City. I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, no, I've done it wrong. What is it? He's trying to talk to me here. PCYG. Thank you, sir. And I'm probably talking way too much here today, but what the hell, we're having fun. PCYG. So this is another example of a Kavarkinator idea. And what do you think? Can you see the W's? Super stoked. And again, kind of like this. If we had bought here and it crapped out through the bottom, we would have walked away. If I did buy here, if it craps out through the bottom, I will walk away. But I got to tell you, that's a pretty damn good looking breakout bar there. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I don't know whether it's a good idea to chase this, but if you want to try and sneak in, wicks and tails like to be eaten, blah, blah, blah. That's an idea for you. But I really wanted to mention, got a couple others here. So one is ears. And actually, I haven't even gotten into this thing. I'm working a bit off of this double bottom here. So don't go and run this damn thing up on me, okay, YouTube? And then another one, which we're already in, but again, beautiful W's, this SCKT. And if the stock market is as strong as it is, I just simply want to get in on these W's and let's see where the hell the damn market takes us. So hopefully you see, and we're giving you some ideas to chew on there. Of course, I'm not telling you what to buy. You know that. I'm not recommending. I couldn't give a fuck what you buy. I'm just telling you what I'm doing with my money. And I shouldn't say I couldn't give a fuck. That's obviously a bit brazen. I won't be offended if you look at any of my ideas and say, Brian, I'm not really interested. That's fine by me. I'm not going to lose any sleep. Try not to chase. Don't go and FOMO. I hear a lot of FOMO talk in crypto right now. Look at this bull poop index, right? So, and it's interesting. We'll dovetail that. You all remember when Bitcoin's chart right over here looked like this, right? You were here. I know a lot of you watch this religiously. So we all walked through this as it was going. Is this a new trade idea to go and buy some Bitcoins right now? I don't think so. Caveat emptor. Be careful. I suppose we have now 6 days until this upcoming auction. And then I also found out, too, thanks to Colin, that we have a holiday weekend coming up. And, oh, boy, do they ever like to mess around with the crypto market through holiday weekends. Colin is very interested in the altcoins. And, man, the altcoins are super hot right now. Again, don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. If you bought W's, right, rock and roll. Things are just kicking butt. Don't chase. You can go and find new ideas that are Wing out, but please understand, I really don't want to hear people that are going and buying this XTC up here, right? We know that there's a big fractal chaos level coming into the market up top here. This thing has had a hell of a run. Does it really make sense going and taking that kind of risk up top? I don't think it does. So, for you guys, are there any ideas that I would actually consider buying right now? I gotta tell you, it's tough. We spent some time through the Daily Brief today. Colin breaks down sort of coins that are in location. He gives it one color, have confirmed divergences, another color, a location and confirmed divergence, and then location, confirmed divergence, and then he's hunting price structure is another color. And even as we were talking through the Daily Brief, the names that were on the location, divergence, and just waiting on structure, they were popping off right, left, and center. So, I mean, you got to be in there, and you got to be finding the W's, and as they're breaking out, you got to take the damn trades. So, I didn't see anything that's sort of just nice and quietly, politely sitting there. What I would just simply say is, here's an example of an idea that we're in, and what are sort of my upside objectives. I talked to you guys lots about trying to get in. This is a good example of W's. You can see how old the trade is now, so not a good idea to come in and chase up top here. But just, use this as a template. Take a screenshot of that. This is the kind of action, and go and find some coins that are doing this kind of action. And Colin showed us a couple. What was the one that he was all super jazzed about, Kevin? I know you mentioned it before we got going, and I was kind of like, no, I just want to talk about trades that have already gone. But there was one that he was talking about through the Daily Brief today that he said was just getting going. Do you remember what that was? I'll see if Kevin can remember.
CND, maybe? CND?
CND. All right, what do we got here? CND. Where do we want to look at this thing? Probably Binance is the sexy place, right? Yeah, so, this is a very typical sort of, I don't know whether I would have structure to do anything here, but, I could understand this would be on sort of his list where he's looking at reload zones, and he's like, okay, well, we are at or below the reload zone. I think he said there was divergences that were coming in down here. What did you say that was? CND? I guess I'll just do Bitcoin there. Yeah, okay, so you can even see beautiful OBV divs. Have you guys ever heard me talk about OBV divs? Oh boy. MACD divs, right? So really, a guy like me, all I would be waiting for, and this is on his list, right, is probably do like a reload zone study of this range. And my hunch is it can come down here, put in a W, and away you go. So there's a good example of one that's sitting on his radar screen, and he's just waiting for some sort of structure to get in. So there are tons of these names out there. You just have to be patient and disciplined. You got to do your work, right? I mean, this is a trader's life. REQ, Kavarkinator's telling us, is another one that's looking interesting. Yeah, okay. I mean, hell, this one's, look at that OBV! When you hear Brian go like up an octave, it means you probably ought to pay attention. So, you like that one, eh? So there you go. I mean, talk about an idea. Again, I'm not recommending you buy this. What I really want everybody here to do is learn this. I mean, there's nothing new about any of this. It's just rinse and repeat. All right, so there is your market. In fact, actually, I think I like that one even better. REQ. But, it's the same sort of logic here. If we zoom out, I don't like people chasing up here. I would actually prefer, if you could, to try and get in off of this W if you want to work stink bids here and see if you can get a fill on a pullback. You want to buy some on this daily W, but that means you have to risk this entire range. Okay. Has this thing got any room to come back here? Well, you tell me. So that's the kind of market it is. And of course, like I said, we got 18th, we got the catalyst. And we've got a holiday long weekend. My hunch is they're going to have some fun here on the crypto in the crypto market through the weekend here. And, maybe you can either grab this tweet from Colin's feed or go to this gentleman, Jack Sparrow. And it was kind of cool when I retweeted this. His comment back was, yeah, I love your work, Brian. So awesome. But really, I would have to say, this is a pretty consistent sort of a roadmap, the way that crypto likes to play. And I got a funny feeling we're sort of like right in here right now. Now, don't get caught Sunday, Monday coming in and buying. Tuesday's the 18th. Monday's a holiday. Could be a little bit trappy, but, I think we're probably somewhere right around this area right in here. So have some fun over the next few days. And if you can trade this stuff to make some money, awesome. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to leave the rant at that for today. I sure hope you enjoyed, got some value out of it, give you some names to chew on, and hopefully sort of a little bit of macro talk to tell you a little bit about where I'm sort of seeing the world right now and where we're going in the future. All right, guys, have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. All the best, and bye for now.